Wrestling isn't just a sport.
Ricochet! 630!
It's a spectacle blending athleticism, storytelling, and high-risk stunts.
Look out! Oh, my goodness!
But behind the dazzling moves and electric crowds, every WWE superstar knows that one wrong landing, one mistimed move could change everything. From broken necks to career-ending falls, these aren't just dramatic moments. They're the seconds that altered lives forever. Today we're counting down the most shocking injuries in WWE history, where some stars defied the odds to return, while others would never step into the ring again. Stone Cold Steve Austin, neck injury. Among the most chilling incidents in WWE history is the neck injury sustained by Stone Cold Steve Austin. On August 3, 1997, during an Intercontinental Championship match against Owen Hart, a single move changed the course of Austin's career forever. As the match began, the energy in the arena was electric. The match was living up to its billing as a classic encounter, with both Austin and Hart showcasing their skills and determination. In a moment that would change everything, Owen Hart prepared to execute a pile driver on Austin. The pile driver, a move meant to thrill, required precision and timing. Unfortunately, in this instance, something went wrong. Austin's head was positioned too low, and as Hart delivered the move, Austin's neck absorbed the full impact, rendering him motionless on the mat. Referees and medical personnel rushed to the ring, assessing the gravity of Austin's condition. Despite the excruciating pain and the potential career-ending implications, Austin managed to muster the strength to roll up Hart for a pinfall victory.
Somehow, and Austin now with Austin driving.
After the match, Austin was quickly attended to by medical staff, and the wrestling community held its breath, waiting for news on his condition. After a while, Austin made a full recovery despite warnings from doctors that his wrestling career might be over. His return was met with overwhelming support from fans, who admired his resilience. However, the injury left lasting scars. Austin experienced chronic pain and limited mobility, which affected his in-ring performance. He had to adapt his wrestling style, focusing more on brawling and less on technical maneuvers to protect his neck. While Stone Cold Steve Austin made a full recovery and returned to the ring, our next wrestler's story took a tragically different turn. Droz paralysis. Darren Drozdov, affectionately known as Droz, was a rising star in the world of professional wrestling. Droz joined the World Wrestling Federation in the late 1990s, quickly becoming a fan favorite with his eccentric style and fearless attitude. Known for his tattoos and piercings, he embodied the edgy, rebellious spirit of the Attitude Era. His career seemed destined for greatness as he formed alliances with notable wrestlers and participated in high-profile matches. On October 5, 1999, Droz faced D'Lo Brown during a WWF SmackDown taping at the Nassau Coliseum. The match was anticipated to be a thrilling encounter between two talented performers. As the crowd roared with excitement, no one could have predicted the tragic turn of events that would unfold. During the match, D'Lo Brown performed a powerbomb on Drozdov, causing him to land on his head and fracture two vertebrae in his neck. Instantly, the vibrant athlete was left motionless in the ring. Medical personnel rushed to the ring, attending to Droz with urgency. They carefully stabilized his neck and transported him to the Nassau County Medical Center. Upon arrival, Droz underwent a grueling 3-hour surgery to relieve pressure on his damaged neck. A plate and screws were attached to stabilize his neck, but the prognosis remained uncertain until much later when it was revealed that he had become paralyzed from the neck down. For Droz, the injury marked the beginning of a new chapter. The once promising athlete now faced the daunting challenge of life as a quadriplegic. Droz later recovered some movement in his arms and upper body, but remained in a wheelchair until he passed away at the age of 54 in 2023. Droz's story of strength and perseverance would inspire many, showing the unbeatable spirit that defined him both in and out of the ring. While Droz's injury permanently changed his life, other wrestlers have suffered severe facial injuries that, though horrific, allowed them to eventually return to the ring. Joey Mercury ladder incident. On a night that would forever alter his career, Mercury faced a brutal accident during the Armageddon 2006 pay-per-view event. As part of the dynamic tag team MNM, alongside Johnny Nitro, Mercury was engaged in a ladder match against the Hardy Boys. The rivalry between MNM and the Hardys had been brewing across all three WWE brands, and the tension reached its peak as they prepared to face off in a fatal four-way tag team ladder match, also featuring London and Kendrick and Dave Taylor and William Regal. Ladders were expected expected to play an important role, adding an element of danger to the contest. As the bell rang to signal the start of the fatal four-way tag team ladder match, the arena buzzed with excitement. The four teams wasted no time in engaging in a chaotic fight, each vying for supremacy in the contest. Mere minutes into the match, MNM and the Hardy Boys found themselves battling near the turnbuckle. In a daring move, Matt Hardy positioned Joey Mercury and Johnny Nitro in place, setting the stage for his brother Jeff Hardy to execute one of his signature moves. Jeff leaped from the top turnbuckle, aiming to land a leg drop onto a nearby ladder. However, the move went disastrously wrong. The ladder catapulted with unexpected force and struck Joey Mercury directly in the face. The ladder shattered Mercury's nose and orbital bone. Blood poured from Mercury's face as he instinctively rolled out of the ring, leaving fans and fellow wrestlers in shock. The match continued with Mercury's partner, Johnny Nitro, left to fend for himself. Backstage, Mercury received urgent medical attention. He was rushed to a hospital where he underwent treatment, receiving over 30 stitches to close the laceration. Luckily, he made a full recovery and returned to the ring weeks later. Though Mercury's facial injury was gruesome, another WWE superstar would soon demonstrate extraordinary resilience when faced with a devastating leg injury. Triple H torn quadriceps. The year 2001 was a defining moment in WWE history, with the Attitude Era still leaving its mark on the wrestling world. At the forefront of this era was Triple H, an intimidating force in the ring known for his ruthless persona and unmatched skill. Alongside Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H formed the notorious two-man power trip, a tag team that dominated the WWE landscape. As the biggest athletes in the company, they held multiple titles and were backed by the influential McMahon family, making them unstoppable. However, this period of dominance was abruptly interrupted on May 21, 2001, during an episode of Raw is War. In a tag team match against Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit, Triple H's career took a dramatic turn.
To be honest, when it first happened, I don't know what the hell happened to me.
As he rushed to save his partner, Steve Austin, from the walls of Jericho, he planted his left leg, and this action caused his quadriceps muscle to tear. A torn quadriceps is not just a painful ordeal, it is a paralyzing injury that would have left most athletes unable to continue. Yet Triple H refused to let the injury define the moment. Despite the excruciating pain, he managed to complete his spot, knocking Chris Jericho away before collapsing and rolling out of the ring. After months of grueling rehabilitation, Triple H made his triumphant return to WWE on January 7, 2002, during an episode of Monday Night Raw. Triple H went on to win the Royal Rumble and became the undisputed champion at WrestleMania 18, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest in WWE history. Triple H's determination to fight through his quad injury set an example for superhuman comebacks in WWE. However, even the most superhuman of athletes, like our next superstar, aren't immune to gravity. Brock Lesnar, shooting star press. Bursting onto the WWE scene in 2002, Brock Lesnar quickly established himself as a force to be reckoned with. Dubbed the next big thing, his combination of raw power, speed, and technical prowess made him a standout performer. Lesnar's rise to the top was so fast that within months of his debut, he captured the WWE Championship by defeating The Rock at SummerSlam. His dominance continued as he took on and defeated some of the biggest names in the industry, including The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan. By the time WrestleMania 19 rolled around, Lesnar was set to face Kurt Angle, an Olympic gold medalist and one of the most technically gifted wrestlers in WWE history. As the bell rang for the main event of WrestleMania 19, the atmosphere in Safeco Field was electric. As the match reached its climax, Lesnar found himself in a position to deliver the final blow, and he climbed the top rope to do it. The crowd's anticipation reached a fever pitch as Lesnar prepared to execute the shooting star press, a move he had perfected during his time in Ohio Valley Wrestling. However, as he launched himself into the air, disaster struck. Lesnar under-rotated, crashing down on his head and neck with a sickening impact. Commentators struggled to find words, their voices tinged with disbelief and fear for Lesnar's well-being. Despite the severity of the botch, Lesnar somehow managed to continue, finishing the match and securing the victory. After the match, medics rushed to his side, assessing the damage as fans and fellow wrestlers alike held their breath. Luckily, Lesnar made a full recovery, and so did our next wrestler. While Lesnar was fortunate enough to walk away from his botched shooting star press, our next wrestler's aerial attempt would have far more devastating consequences. Sid Vicious leg break. The stage was set for an electrifying night at the UCW Sin 2001 pay-per-view, with fans eagerly anticipating the main event, a triple threat match featuring Sid Vicious, Jeff Jarrett, and the reigning WCW World Champion Scott Steiner. Vicious, a veteran of the squared circle, was no stranger to high-pressure situations. However, on this fateful night, he was about to attempt something out of the ordinary. Under the alleged pressure from John Laurinaitis, Vicious prepared to execute a move from the middle rope, a risky move not typically part of his arsenal. The moment he leaped, time seemed to slow. The anticipation of the crowd turned to horror as Vicious landed awkwardly, his leg buckling grotesquely beneath him. The sickening snap echoed through the arena, and the visual of his limb bending unnaturally left fans and fellow wrestlers in shock.
Watching the mystery opponent come in. Now Sid Vicious up on top.
Oh, that is
Look at the left foot.
As Vicious lay on the mat, writhing in agony, the match continued around him. Scott Steiner, in an attempt to maintain the flow of the event, delivered low-key kicks and performed his signature push-ups, trying to divert attention from the gruesome scene. However, the damage was done, and the image of Sid Vicious's horrific injury became the defining memory of the night. The ring became chaotic, with medical personnel rushing to the ring to attend to Vicious. The seriousness of the situation was clear, and the event, which had promised to be a thrilling display of wrestling prowess, was overshadowed by the reality of the sport's dangers. For Sid, the road to recovery was a long and uneasy one. He endured extensive surgeries and rehabilitation, effectively ending his full-time wrestling career. Although he made brief returns, including in WWE in 2012, he could no longer compete at the same level. Sid shifted to acting, guest appearances, and community involvement post-injury. Sid's leg break marked one of WCW's most shocking moments. Years later, WWE would witness another shocking injury when one of its biggest stars suffered a devastating tear mid-match. John Cena torn pectoral muscle. On October 1st, 2007, during a critical match against Mr. Kennedy, John Cena's pectoral muscle tore dramatically, yet he continued to fight. Cena, known for his never-give-up attitude, was in peak form, showcasing his signature moves and engaging the crowd with his charismatic presence. However, what unfolded that night would become one of the scariest injuries in WWE history. Early in the match, as Cena attempted a routine hip toss, disaster struck. In a split second, his pectoral muscle tore. The pain was excruciating, but he continued to fight. The audience watched in disbelief as Cena, visibly in agony, pushed through the match. His opponent, Mr. Kennedy, was relentless as he sensed an opportunity to capitalize on Cena's injured state. The tension in the arena rose to a fever pitch as Cena endured not only the physical pain, but also an attack from Randy Orton, who delivered a brutal RKO atop a table that refused to give. As the match concluded, the WWE medical team rushed to his aid, and the gravity of the situation became apparent. The official diagnosis was a complete tear of his pectoralis major muscle, an injury that would sideline most athletes for 6 months to a year. For Cena, this meant relinquishing his WWE championship. The road back to the WWE ring after his torn pectoral muscle was no easy task. Doctors estimated a recovery period of 6 months to a year. Less than 4 months after undergoing surgery, Cena made a full recovery and was ready to make his return. He made his comeback at the 2008 Royal Rumble, where he eliminated several top contenders, including Chavo Guerrero, Carlito, Mark Henry, and Triple H, en route to winning the event. Cena's rapid recovery from his pectoral tear was remarkable, but not new in WWE. Years earlier, another legendary superstar had faced an even greater comeback challenge: Shawn Michaels' back injury. Shawn Michaels was a cornerstone of WWE's Attitude Era. By 1998, Michaels had solidified his status as one of the company's top performers. Known for his flamboyant style and unparalleled in-ring ability, he was a 3-time WWE champion and a key figure in some of the most memorable fights of the decade. The stage was set for another epic encounter at the 1998 Royal Rumble, where Michaels would face The Undertaker in a casket match. The match was a delight to fans, with both competitors delivering a masterclass in storytelling and athleticism. However, during the fight, a seemingly routine move turned disastrous. As The Undertaker threw Michaels out of the ring, his back collided with the casket, resulting in a severe injury. The impact herniated 2 discs in his back and completely crushed another. Following the 1998 Royal Rumble, Michaels faced the harsh reality of his condition. He tried to compete at WrestleMania 14, where he dropped the WWE Championship to Stone Cold Steve Austin, but the pain was excruciating. Doctors advised Michaels that continuing to wrestle could lead to permanent damage, forcing him into an early retirement. However, Michaels remained connected to WWE, serving as the Raw Commissioner and opening his wrestling academy, nurturing the next generation of talent. 2002, Michaels miraculously returned to the ring. After years of rehabilitation and soul-searching, he stepped back into the spotlight at SummerSlam, facing his former friend and rival, Triple H. The match was initially intended as a one-time affair, but Michaels' back held up, and the fire within him reignited. His story became an inspiration, not just for fans, but for fellow wrestlers like Edge, who would later make their comebacks. Edge neck issues. The year 2003 marked an important moment in the career of WWE superstar Edge, whose real name is Adam Copeland. During this time, Edge was at the peak of his wrestling career. However, during a match on SmackDown against the late Eddie Guerrero, his life took an unexpected turn. As the match progressed, Eddie Guerrero hit Edge with a forearm uppercut. The impact of the blow catapulted him into a nearby ladder, and he fell through the ladder, hearing a distinct crack. Initially, he dismissed the sound as the ladder breaking, unaware that it was his neck that had suffered the impact.
But I do remember in San Diego a match with Eddie Guerrero, and he hit me with a forearm uppercut, and I landed on a ladder, and the rung was right there. And I remember hearing a really loud crack. Now, I don't think it broke there, but something went.
In the months following the match, Edge experienced numbness spreading through his body, and his arms were losing strength. These alarming signs were initially brushed aside as Edge continued to push through his WWE schedule. However, the severity of his condition soon became impossible to ignore. Edge's series of neck injuries had culminated in cervical spinal stenosis, a narrowing of the spinal canal in the neck, which can lead to severe nerve damage. In 2003, he underwent spinal fusion surgery to repair the discs between his C5, C6, and C7 vertebrae, a procedure that sidelined him for over a year. In 2004, Edge made his highly anticipated return to WWE. After a while, it became clear that Edge could never be medically cleared to wrestle again without risking paralysis or death. Faced with this devastating news, Edge was forced to retire from professional wrestling at the age of 37. In his retirement speech, Edge spoke candidly about his love for wrestling and the toll it had taken on his body. He expressed gratitude for the opportunities he had been given and the support of the fans who had stood by him throughout his career. The decision to retire was not made lightly, but it was a necessary step to preserve his health and well-being. While Edge's career was cut short by neck injuries sustained from years of high-impact moves, our next superstar suffered perhaps the most infamous series of injuries in a single match. Mick Foley Hell in a Cell injury. Known for his hardcore wrestling style and willingness to endure extreme pain, Mick Foley was a fan favorite. His character, Mankind, was a deranged and unpredictable figure, often seen wearing a leather mask and tattered clothing. The Hell in a Cell match was a relatively new concept at the time, having been introduced in 1997. The structure itself was a massive steel cage that enclosed the ring and extended to the floor, designed to keep the competitors inside and prevent outside interference. The night of June 28, 1998, was set to deliver a match unlike any other. As the match began, Mick Foley, performing as Mankind and The Undertaker, made their way to the top of the cell. The two titans exchanged blows atop the steel structure, each strike echoing through the arena and increasing the tension. The Undertaker grabbed Foley and hurled him from the top of the cell, sending him falling over 6 meters down to the announcer's table below. Foley lay motionless amidst the wreckage, his body battered and broken. The fall left him with a dislocated shoulder, bruised ribs, and internal bleeding. Despite the severity of his injuries, Foley refused to be stretchered out of the arena. In an unbelievable display of toughness, he climbed back to the top of the cell, determined to continue the match. The match resumed, and the brutality only intensified. In another, jaw-dropping moment, The Undertaker chokeslammed Foley through the cell's roof, sending him crashing to the ring below. The second fall resulted in even more injuries, including a concussion and a tooth that had been knocked loose and lodged in Foley's nose. Despite the unimaginable pain and trauma, Foley continued to fight, and the match lasted over 17 minutes. It was a brutal, unforgettable encounter that left a lasting mark on all who witnessed it. As the match concluded, Foley was finally taken to the hospital, where he received medical attention for his numerous injuries. While Foley's Hell in a Cell injuries became legendary, modern WWE superstars continue to push their bodies to the limit, sometimes with devastating consequences. Finn Balor shoulder injury. Among the scariest injuries in WWE history is the infamous shoulder injury suffered by Finn Balor. In the year 2016, history was made in WWE as the company introduced the Universal Championship, a title that promised to change the game on Monday Night Raw. SummerSlam, one of WWE's biggest events, was chosen as the stage for this historic showdown. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn was buzzing with excitement, packed to the roof with fans from all over the world. Finn Balor, known for his extraordinary athleticism and charismatic presence, was set to face Seth Rollins, a wrestler with a reputation for delivering high-energy performances. Both competitors were at the top of their game, and the match promised to be a thrilling spectacle. The match started with both Balor and Rollins showcasing their impressive skill sets, each move executed with precision and intensity. However, the match took a dramatic turn when Rollins executed a running powerbomb, sending Balor crashing into the ringside barricade. It was a moment that seemed to happen in slow motion, and the impact echoed throughout the arena. In that instant, Balor's right shoulder dislocated, a gut-wrenching sight for those watching. The pain was evident on his face, but Balor managed to pop his shoulder back into place almost immediately. Despite the excruciating pain, Balor continued to fight, driven by the desire to claim the Universal Championship. The medical team was on high alert, ready to intervene if necessary. However, Balor managed to secure the victory, becoming the first ever WWE Universal Champion. The crowd erupted in cheers, celebrating his triumph, but the victory was bittersweet, overshadowed by the injury that threatened to derail his career. Following the dramatic events of SummerSlam, Finn Balor's journey took a challenging turn as he faced the harsh reality of his injury. The initial diagnosis of a dislocated shoulder quickly escalated when it was revealed that Balor had suffered a labrum tear, an injury that required immediate surgical intervention. The surgery was a success, and after months of relentless rehabilitation, Balor finally received the green light to return to the ring. Balor's shoulder injury highlighted the risks of powerbomb moves. Years later, another superstar would face an even more severe injury from a similar power move: Big E neck injury. The atmosphere was electric on that fateful Friday night as WWE SmackDown kicked off with a highly anticipated tag team match. The New Day, featuring the dynamic duo of Big E and Kofi Kingston, was set to clash with the team of Sheamus and Ridge Holland. As the match began, the wrestlers captivated the audience with every move. Then, the unthinkable happened. Ridge Holland, known for his brute strength, executed an overhead belly-to-belly suplex on Big E outside the ring. Big E landed awkwardly on the crown of his head, and the impact was so severe that it left him motionless on the floor. Medical personnel rushed to his side, and the match came to an abrupt halt, leaving everyone in shock and disbelief. Later that night, Big E was carefully stretchered out of the ring. The following morning, Big E shared a heartfelt video from a hospital in Birmingham, Alabama, providing clarity on his situation. In the video, Big E, wearing a hospital gown and neck brace, addressed his concerned fans with remarkable composure. He revealed that he had suffered fractures in the C1 and C6 vertebrae, but thankfully, there was no displacement, spinal cord damage, or need for surgery.
So I got some really good news, all things considered. The C1 and C6 are indeed fractured, not displacement though, which is a very good thing. And I don't have any damage to my spinal cord, no ligament damage, and no surgery, which I'm very thankful for.
Despite the severity of his injury, Big E's positive outlook and gratitude shone through as he thanked everyone for their overwhelming support. The wrestling community rallied around Big E, with an outpouring of well wishes flooding social media. Fellow wrestlers, including the Bella Twins, The Miz, Charlotte Flair, and Kayla Braxton, expressed their love and support, highlighting the deep bond shared among WWE superstars. Fans from around the globe joined in, sending messages of encouragement and hope. As Big E continues his recovery journey, his story serves as a reminder of wrestling's inherent dangers. Another superstar who knows these dangers all too well is Randy Orton. Randy Orton collarbone injury. The stage was set for an unforgettable night in WWE history. The date was June 2, 2008, and the venue was the San Diego Sports Arena, packed to the brim with fans eager to witness the one-night stand pay-per-view event. Among the most anticipated matches of the evening was the last man standing match between Randy Orton and Triple H. Randy Orton, often referred to as the Viper, was a third-generation superstar, known for his devastating finishing move, the RKO. His opponent, Triple H, also known as The Game, was a seasoned veteran known for being one of the toughest competitors in WWE history. A last man standing match meant that the only way to win was to incapacitate your opponent to the point where they could not answer the referee's 10 count. The match began, and the action quickly spilled out of the ring, as Orton and Triple H utilized the environment to their advantage, anything they could find to inflict punishment on one another. The match's turning point came when Randy Orton attempted a move that would ultimately lead to an injury. Orton went over the top rope to perform his signature move, the RKO, but Triple H reversed Orton's attempt, sending the Viper to a painful fall over the top rope. Orton clutched his shoulder, the pain etched across his face. The severity of the injury was not immediately clear, but it was evident that something had gone wrong. The referee, Mike Chioda, quickly assessed the situation and saw that Orton was in no condition to continue. The decision was made to bring the match to an early conclusion, with Triple H declared the winner by default. As soon as the match ended, the medical team assessed Orton's injury and provided immediate care. The initial diagnosis was a broken left collarbone, an injury that would require immediate medical attention and a significant period of recovery. In 2010, Orton returned to the ring after making a full recovery. While Orton's collarbone injury was severe, another future champion would face his own career-threatening moment when his knee gave out at the height of his reign. Seth Rollins' knee injury. Known as the Architect, Rollins began his WWE career in 2010, quickly making a name for himself as a dynamic and versatile performer. By 2012, he had become the inaugural WWE NXT champion. His rise continued as he joined forces with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose to form The Shield, a team that would dominate WWE for over 2 years. However, in 2014, Rollins betrayed his Shield brothers, aligning himself with Triple H and The Authority. Rollins' alliance with The Authority paid dividends, as he quickly ascended the ranks to become one of WWE's top stars. His crowning achievement came at WrestleMania 31, where he executed what is now famously known as the heist of the century. After losing to Randy Orton earlier in the night, Rollins stunned the world by cashing in his Money in the Bank contract during the main event between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. However, Rollins' reign came to an abrupt and devastating end on November 4th, 2015, during a WWE live event in Dublin, Ireland. In a match against Kane, Rollins attempted a move off the top rope. As he landed, his right knee buckled under the pressure, resulting in a torn ACL, MCL, and medial meniscus. Despite the severity of the injury, Rollins remarkably managed to finish the match, even delivering a pedigree to Kane for the win. In May 2016, Seth Rollins returned to the ring at the WWE Extreme Rules event. As the main event concluded, with Roman Reigns successfully defending his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against AJ Styles, the familiar sound of Rollins' entrance music echoed through the arena. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar as Rollins made his triumphant return, storming the ring and delivering a devastating pedigree to Reigns. The moment was electric, and the WWE Universe was ecstatic to see Rollins back in action. Though Rollins' knee injury threatened to derail his career, he returned stronger than ever. Our final injury story proves that even the most routine matches can result in shocking accidents. Cesaro teeth injury. The stage was set for WWE No Mercy 2017, an event that promised action and unforgettable moments. Among the highly anticipated matches was the Raw Tag Team title match, featuring the formidable duo of Cesaro and Sheamus, known as The Bar, taking on the reigning champions, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. The match began with both teams showcasing their unique blend of power, agility, and teamwork. The chemistry between Cesaro and Sheamus was evident as they executed a series of impressive moves, keeping the champions on their toes. The turning point in the match came when Dean Ambrose slingshotted Cesaro into the turnbuckle. Cesaro collided with the ring post, and the impact was so severe that it pushed Cesaro's front teeth up into his upper jaw by 3 to 4 millimeters. The sight was enough to make even the most seasoned wrestling fans wince. Despite the excruciating pain, Cesaro's resilience was on full display as he continued to fight alongside Sheamus, determined not to let the injury derail their chances of victory. The audience watched in awe as he powered through the pain, delivering his signature moves with precision and strength. The match concluded with Rollins and Ambrose retaining their titles, but it remained an unforgettable night for Cesaro. After the match, Cesaro visited a maxillofacial surgeon to address the dental trauma. The surgeon removed the damaged teeth and replaced them with dental implants. He also received 3 stitches in his bottom lip. Cesaro continued to wrestle but found it difficult to chew. He wore braces after the surgery and eventually had them removed. Did you enjoy this video? Click on any of the cards showing on your screen right now for similar content. Thank you.